Earley Creates, that's the event tonight that we're talking about, and it's in the provenance of Eve Earley.
Yes.
You're most welcome, Eve. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very well, thank you.
It's good to see you. You're an American among us, and you bring us a wider experience, and as such, you're even more welcome.
Well, I hope that people can begin to see this area the way I see it.
Yeah. How do you see this area as a newcomer, so to speak?
It's been 6 years.
Wow. Would you tell me where 6 years go?
I have no idea.
Very, very quickly,
I
tell you.
have no idea. But I always say I'll know I've been successful when I can go 30 days without someone saying to me, what would you be moving to this feckin' country for? And my response is I wake up every morning to Carlingford Lough in the morns. I live in feckin' Narnia.
You do. It's absolutely Narnia. It is Narnia. Yeah, absolutely.
And we are at such a time of opportunity in an environment that is so supportive of entrepreneurship and small businesses.
Yeah.
That when I arrived, it was the height of the crisis, and people would say to me, there are no jobs. I'd say, yeah, there's no jobs, but there's plenty of opportunity.
Yes, yes.
So how do we get paid to do what we love doing?
Yeah.
And we are not so far from the land and an agricultural environment where our parents and grandparents, they didn't have paid work.
No.
They got paid to do what they did well.
Indeed, they're blessed. If you do what you love doing, you never have to work for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
And that's the long and the short of it. So Earley Creates is tonight in Amplified.
In Amplified.
Now what's the theme and what's it about tonight?
Nicola was generous enough to donate the space, and I have to say that's really the spirit of startups. And what happens is I travel, my work is between Dublin and Belfast. I'm up and down the motorway all the time. And I see the good news stories here, and I evangelize. I tell people about them. But then when I speak to people locally, they're quick to tell me how dire things are.
You're still getting that, are you?
I am to some degree, and so particularly in the parents who are worried that their children are determined to emigrate.
But emigration isn't necessarily bad, because you go out and you expose yourself to a broader base of knowledge, and you take it in and you bring it back.
And to be honest with you, our salvation will be the homecomers and blow-ins.
Yeah.
And 50,000 a year are still leaving, 1,000 a week. But last year, 25,000 came home.
Yeah.
And they want to live here.
Yes.
And they've brought home a new experience. They've brought home optimism and positivity. And that's what we're seeing. So tonight there'll be 6 local startups.
Wow.
10-minute lightning talks, pizza, and a chance to really get to hear a good news story, but to hear people just like you.
Yes.
There's this tendency to say, oh, sure, well, you know, that one came from that school and had those parents and set up that business.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of that. That was the old way of looking at things. Yeah.
And these
Genius
kids,
comes in many packages.
It does. And one of my favorite stories is Chris McCabe, a young programmer, self-taught in his bedroom.
My goodness.
Was working at McDonald's, got himself a Princess Trust mentor, and now has his own design business. He builds applications as well as websites.
But to think of someone able to build apps, you know, that's a huge technology.
Well,
Silicon Valley stuff almost.
Actually, not such a huge technology. Chris is just back from Beijing. One of the other people talking tonight will be Colin Masters.
Yeah.
Whose bricklaying business, he was a contractor with sites all over the UK and Ireland. And when Lehman Brothers went under, he watched his text messages come in with job after job shutting down.
Oh, yeah.
Taught himself to program, went up to Ulster, took some courses, got an internship at NICE, worked with them for a few years. He's got an app building business in Newry right now.
My goodness.
He's training young app designers. We started training programmers after schools on Mondays. It was a pilot program.
Yeah.
We had 2 people come to us last September, 2 out of the 10, who were in paid work by the following February.
My goodness.
App building is a lot of cutting and pasting.
It's amazing stuff.
And
so what else have we got tonight?
Colin Masters is willing to teach.
Yeah.
Anya Boyle, a chef who loves healthy cooking. She runs a camp for kids out of her home. She redid the kitchen, and she's like lightning. She's gone. She also does consulting for business.
The lovely thing is that what you're talking about here is has at its very core enthusiasm.
Yes.
And youthfulness
Yes.
and vigor to make it happen, to
Yes.
make the difference.
And my joy is hanging around with these people.
Yeah, I can understand.
They
this.
inspire.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
absolutely inspire.
Yeah.
Another fellow I met, his mom works over at Ballybot House. Oh, my son has a startup. Really? Have him call me. Yes, he has a serious startup with an electronic loyalty system for
goodness.
malls and businesses. And Rowan, I can't begin to tell you how many dynamic, creative people there are here that you need to meet.
Yeah.
Folks
yes,
need
indeed.
to hear about.
Well,
Folks
you
need to
must,
hear
for the
about.
future, just put it in your memory bank that we would want to see these people coming through the studio door and sitting down and talking to us. And of course, here there's the add-on value of not only do you go out live across the planet here, but you get the link and put it on your website as well at the end of the thing.
You do.
So what are the things that are the downturns at the moment, or do you recognize any kind of negativity? Is there anything that we have a propensity to engage in that's pulling us back and not letting us go forward?
Just ourselves. One of the reasons for New Recreates is so that we have events where we talk more about each other and about what we're doing in a positive way,
Yes,
as
of
opposed
course.
to the talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
each other that we do. But the other piece of that is we have a culture here that is definitely post-conflict and a lot that's very Irish, where we don't want to boast. Like somehow I'm bragging
Yeah.
as opposed to celebrating your success.
Absolutely.
So-
I often say that folks shouldn't do modesty because it deprives others of inspirational opportunity. Ah, look what he or she has done. I want to do that as well.
More importantly, with the way we have of kind of looking askance at people's success, in America, it's rather like, oh, sure, if he could do it, I could do it.
Oh, that's, yes, isn't that? Yeah, absolutely.
as
Why
opposed
not?
to
Yeah.
as opposed to that begrudgery. So I do think we're getting there. We have a generation that's getting there, and social media, digital media, is a wonderful vehicle.
It's a mighty
for that.
thing. I have learned how to Facebook.
Well,
I've learned something called Twitter.
Rowan, Twitter to me. I was just at Intertrade Ireland did an event called the All Island Innovation Program.
Yeah.
And there was a professor from the Netherlands who was talking about a major change in the way venture capitalists and entrepreneurs work together. It's becoming more of a partnership than a rip-off of the entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And he attributes it to the transparency of Twitter and social media, because the VCs who are getting it right are blogging about what they're doing. And so they've created new vehicles for finance that's more cooperative and more of more benefit to the entrepreneur. And that word is getting out there.
I was going to say that because you use the word with consummate ease. It's as natural to you as your next breath.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship, until now, in my estimation, I may be wrong, has been something that hid in another space. You couldn't actually reach out and say, that's an entrepreneur, that's an entrepreneur. But now we have entrepreneurs.
Well,
Fellas who have done things, girls who have done things.
I know, but you know what? I think there's someone posted, I didn't get a chance to read it yet this morning, on LinkedIn, a fellow called Dan Feeney, he does recruiting, I have to say another expat, about entrepreneurship in 1776. That's all I saw. I can't wait to go back to it.
Yeah.
But we've been long known in this area, not, and I think we should wear it proudly,
Yeah.
as bandit country.
Yes, yeah.
We survived because we were entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
People look at Nuri and they tell me these very sad stories, and I think there's benefit to the fact that we don't look like those overdeveloped places that are no longer market towns, that no
Yes,
longer
yes.
work as
Yeah.
green towns.
Yeah.
We have so much to celebrate here.
Yeah. And we have survived all of the difficulties that you've alluded to there.
Yes.
And out of survival comes a new strength as we go forward.
I think that it didn't kill us.
No.
And we are stronger
That
for
which
it.
doesn't destroy us makes us stronger.
We are
Now
stronger
tell me
for it.
about your own provenance coming to us. You're here 6 years, maybe a little more.
I am.
Which part of America?
I was born and reared in New York. And then when
love
I
it.
married, I moved to Philadelphia and reared a family there.
Yeah, wonderful.
So East Coast.
You're a New
East
Yorker,
Coast.
through
Well,
and
and
through.
now I have 2 daughters living in New Orleans.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yes,
Yeah.
and their extended family in Savannah. So the one thing about America is you're of many places.
And I'm proud to say that I have a granddaughter who's has a year of her university degree out of Newcastle in England in Maryland University. And here's a young woman of Newry out there, 19 years of age, and she's out in America doing her thing for a full year.
And
It's a
Maryland
wonderful
is
world.
wonderful. She's a train ride away from New York, from Philadelphia,
Yeah.
from Washington.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's
Let's
brilliant.
again then remind the people of tonight, and it's in the Amplified Bar.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, and the Amplified Bar.
It's on Water Street. The entrance
Yep,
is
the
on
corner.
Water Street. And it's over, is it the Phoenix?
Yes,
That's
the Phoenix
building
pub.
at the corner,
Yep.
so you shouldn't have trouble finding it. And we're really looking forward to seeing everyone there, particularly those of you who want to see what really can happen when there's some enthusiasm behind it.
Thank you for coming in. That's the
Thank
it's
you.
Amplified in Water Street this evening,
7
o'clock. Be there and learn and grow strong.
Thank
Eve Earley,
you.
thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.